Welcome to Terror in Tandem, a podcast about finding entertainment in the macabre. Hosted by the knowledgeable and lovable Laura and Richard Mathiasen. Each episode, we discuss the horror genre, from books to film to TV and beyond. Sometimes even from the beyond. You can find us on YouTube at Terror in Tandem, on Instagram at Terror in Tandem, and you'll always find our latest episode on our fantastic website, terrorintandem.com.
Yeah, you sure can.
It's just great.
Hey, thanks for sticking with us while we took a 2-week break. I joined a cult.
Yeah, and I rescued her from the cult.
Yeah.
And that took 2 weeks from start to finish.
Yeah, it took me 72 hours to join the cult. And then the rest of the time was rescuing.
Yeah.
And I have been deprogrammed.
Yeah, well, that's still in process. Let's just say...
Or have I?
Your indoctrination was alarmingly quick. Very, effortless, really. You just...
Somebody said some nice things about me.
Yeah.
And it was all praise gear.
Yeah, getting you out... you throw somebody one goddamn waffle party and just all of their loyalties go out the window.
Yeah.
Welcome everyone to a...
Hello.
It's
just me in studio.
It's still a bit chilly in these parts.
Yeah, in everybody's parts.
Yeah.
Everybody has parts.
And they're freezing. So we are all, just doing our best, trying to huddle together and watch things to warm our blood by being splashed with warm blood.
Wow. That is exactly what they said would happen at the cult meetings. So anyway, back to non-cult related commentary. It's been a quiet few months, some pittance releases.
Yeah.
Catching up on some missed and, maybe a little lackluster winter end.
I've been reading a lot and catching up, but not necessarily things from this year, just catching up on a backlog.
Yeah, but now we're in a full-blown log of new brown.
We've got things to recommend, and in that note, we're going to start recommending things.
I should probably start because I have a few additional mentions.
You should probably start because you're more interesting and have better things to mention.
I don't think that's true. So my first recommendation is a movie. This movie's got my best interests written all over it. It looks like I will love it. It vibes like I'll love it. Anyway, the movie's called Drop.
Oh, yeah.
And it drops into theaters on April 11th. So all feedback about this movie has been that it's super crowd-pleasing horror film. It premiered at the South by Southwest Film Festival this past iteration, and it's written by Gillian Jacobs and Christopher Roach, not Gillian Jacobs.
Oh, bummer. Not Britta.
No. Gillian Jacobs and Christopher Roach have collaborated on Truth or Dare and Fantasy Island, both films I've seen with one of the Pretty Little Liars actresses was in it. Anyway, they weren't great, but still, they had kind of the elements of excitement that I like in horror movies that are a little off to the side, I like the Truth or Dare. I like the escape room movies, the ones that have a little flash and flare that might not be that great.
Yeah.
But this is directed by Christopher Landon. So again, in the
Terror in Tandem favorite.
Yes column, he directed and wrote Freaky. He directed the 2 Happy Death Day films. I think he did a bunch of...
He did some Paranormal Activity.
Paranormals.
And in an alternate universe, he would have directed Scream 7 with Melissa Barrera.
Oh, well, I think that probably will still happen, but maybe not with her. Who
Well,
knows?
not with her or with him. They've both... she was fired and he moved on. So.
Yeah.
Or Jenna Ortega.
Yeah, at this point, we need a new group of people.
Well, I think they're leaning pretty hard into nostalgia and just getting everyone back. I think even...
Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, Matt Lillard and fucking, what's his name?
Even though he's
Arquette.
dead. Didn't he die?
Well, maybe. The last we saw of old Stu Stumacher, he was he had a TV on his head, but
Yeah,
maybe he lived through that.
maybe he did. The boy who lived.
Yeah. And maybe they just didn't mention him in these subsequent 5 or 6 movies.
Maybe he's in jail because
Listen,
he was a murderer.
I want the best for this. I'm just saying,
Listen,
when
I'm gonna
everything
watch-
falls apart and then you lean into, let's just bring back all the old guys that everyone liked in the first place, it's just not the best sign.
But anyway, back to Christopher Landon's good stuff.
Ooh.
This looks like it's going to be one of his goods. The film is starring Megan Fahey from White Lotus season 1 fame, and Brandon Skellner from Westworld, Vice, and I think he's got a pretty significant role in 1923. But he's been in a bunch of stuff. You will probably kind of be like, oh, that guy looks familiar, and he's probably been in something you've seen. The film is primarily a one location film. It takes place in a restaurant, and it's the main character is Violet, played by Megan Fahey. She's a survivor of abuse and a single mom, and she's going out on a blind date. What could possibly go wrong? She meets up at a restaurant with Henry, played by Skellner, who seems nice and all, but then she starts receiving airdrops to her phone, which include some unsettling memes, and then moves on to a little bit more aggressively threatening text messages, including like, don't call the cops or your kid's gonna die type of stuff. And this then becomes a way for Violet to not let like her date in on what's happening, because how does she know she can trust him? And she can't really signal for help. So she's got to try to find a way to get her son to safety, or that he's, not going to be killed. And also trying to figure out WTF is going on. And
OMG.
try to be kind of like on this date and charming. So it looks really great. It's very stylized. She's gorgeous. I don't see what can go wrong except for murder.
It looks like it will be less humorous as some of his other
Correct.
movies too, like a little more straightforward.
Right.
Um,
But it looks like it's got that charm. So
yeah. Hey,
I'm very much looking forward to it. Drop April 11th.
awesome. Well, you know what? I'll kick mine off with a movie as well, and we're going coming from Ireland, from director Aislinn
Top of
Clark.
the morning to you.
Yeah, we are going with Frewaka, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly. Now, this is a film that is filmed in Ireland, and it's an Irish language film. I think there is some English dialogue in there. The director said she wanted to reflect, modern times, that they do speak English in rural parts of Ireland, but it's mostly Irish. So,
Gaelic?
I'm sorry?
It's Gaelic?
Irish.
Okay.
So in Frewaka, a palliative care nurse is sent to a remote village, and her name is Shue. She's sent to a rural village in Ireland to take care of an agoraphobic old lady who fears these things that she calls the Nasheed, sinister entities that she thinks abducted her when she was younger and are like in the woods kind of coming back for her. So Shue has her own history of trauma and kind of gets wrapped up into this old lady's like paranoia. She's very superstitious of her neighbors. She lives very isolated, and the two of them, I think, just sort of feed into each other's paranoia and fear. Whether the Nasheed are real or not, it seems like they are. This is also kind of one of those allegorical horror movies about, different things like grief, trauma, but also how easy it can be for even rational people to get sucked into a charismatic person's craziness.
Yeah.
I think most of us in our lives have had a moment, maybe a bad relationship or something where we, in retrospect, we're like, what was I thinking? How did that happen? How did I let that happen?
I feel that way every day.
Yeah, that's not a
Just
surprise.
kidding.
And reminds me, okay, I gotta give you another
It was
another
just-
dose of your drug here to. There we go. And good. Okay, so
I love you so much.
yay! All right. Now I'm interested in this. It reminds me a little bit. There was a movie that came out last year, I think, called
Audience, he is touching his head right now. It's intense. You should see this.
All You Need Is Death. Yeah, the movie, I talked about it on the pod. It was about finding those like Irish and folk songs that were also cursed. And,
right.
you know, this is just like another examination of a very, very deep culture that is steeped in paganism and fey creatures and ritual and all that. So, I'm all for it. And to hear it spoken in Irish, I believe this movie carries the distinction of being the first horror movie in the Irish language. So that's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Frewaka. It's a folk horror tale in Ireland.
Shudder exclusive.
Shudder exclusive, dropping, as they say, on April 25th.
Wow.
Check it out.
Nice. Sounds awesome. My next recommendation for the month is a return to a season of 7. So Black Mirror season 7.
Whoa.
Is coming out April 10th on Netflix. And it's been 2 years since season 6 came out.
Good Lord.
There was a lot of outcry with season 6 that it wasn't Black Mirror viewers loved, and it had become kind of Hollywoodized.
Oh.
Or it was a little like less sci-fi.
Well, like everyone's agent at that point is calling on publicists to be like, get me on this show.
Yeah, I feel like White Lotus is headed in that direction.
Victim of its own success.
But, you know, I thought there were some good episodes of season 6, but I can understand what people are saying. And it didn't quite have that darkness and horror and like sickness in your stomach of just wrongness that the earlier seasons have had. And so the creator Charlie Brooker took all of that feedback to heart. And he said that this season is going back to fundamentals. And he said that this season will feel more like earlier seasons and take things a bit further in terms of the horror element and the sci-fi aspect of it. So you're going to see it a little bit darker, but still emotional and with the depth that Black Mirror is really good at, which I thought season 6 did really well, but I can understand it wasn't like as wrong some of the episodes.
No, I get it.
There
something's around that long. I admire shows that try to do something different, reinvent themselves a little bit, and it doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Just doesn't. That's okay.
I mean, Black Mirror really benefited from being more of a, I guess, British or UK influenced show with actors who
mean to tell me that when you
were a little lesser known to pop culture?
When you take, let's say, like an independent, small-scale, brilliant creation and just pump unlimited money and celebrity into it, it doesn't make it better?
Well,
that's so weird.
Some of the episodes
you
benefited from it.
Let's just keep trying. Let's keep trying. Let's make Star Wars shows that cost $200 billion an episode and get canceled after one season.
Well, this seems promising. There has been some recommendations on rewatching some old episodes because there are going to be a sequel-esque.
Really?
So USS Callister from season 4.
With Jesse Plemons.
And Kristen Milioti.
Now,
Miladi.
She's since that episode came out, her star has risen a lot.
Well, ever since she was the How I Met Your Mother.
No, but I mean, she just came off a really acclaimed run on Penguin.
Yeah, but she was in USS Callister in season 4. And that's one of the most popular episodes. Anyway, there's a sequel in season 7. She's coming back along with some others from the crew. Jesse Plemons, I don't think is coming back. If you saw the original episode. Bandersnatch, if anybody remembers that from 2008, that was the one-off interactive Black Mirror episode.
Was Will Poulter in that one? I think.
Yes, he was. And there will be characters from this episode, including Will Poulter. So he will be in season 7.
Yeah.
Some other folks that have been cast in season 7, Awkwafina, who I love.
Do you mean Nora from Queens?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know her.
Paul Giamatti, Rashida Jones, and Issa Rae. They're
Wow.
all going to be part of
That's pretty
season
great.
7. So I hope it gets back to it's like dark horror wrongness and
Well,
making you a little ill
think
when you
about
watch this certain episode.
some of it, though. It seems like a lot of the, more outrageous, cautionary, dystopian future stuff of Black Mirror has, like, if anything, turned out to be understated
Yeah.
in terms of what's actually going on.
I always recommend watching the Wyatt Russell episode
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
and the why can't I think of the name right now? Junipero episode that I made
San
you watch.
Junipero. Yeah, the one with Mackenzie Davis. Yeah, holy Christ.
So who knows who will return and what technology will return in different ways. I think that's part of it. So Black Mirror, Netflix,
And
check
Gugu
it out.
and Batu Raw, she was in that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
April 10th, everyone.
Oh, that's so dope. Let's do one more. I'm going to go next. It's me.
Why don't we take a break? And
Let's
then
do
we'll
one
come
more,
back.
then take a break.
How many do you have back after that?
One.
Yeah. So let's take a break now.
Fine. Ever feel like you just want to drop everything sometimes and disappear? Are you the kind of person who watches the end of Thelma and Louise and thinks, there's a great idea? Well, my friends, I am here to tell you the answer to all of your terrible life decisions and cascading personal issues is here, and you don't even have to form a suicide pact to get it. Introducing Go Missing on Us, the world's premier kidnap for hire and death faking service. Worried that murder you covered up all those years ago will come back to haunt you? Are the feds sniffing around those offshore accounts full of your war profiteering? Or maybe a hungry young DA is opening an inquiry into the fact that your last 5 wives died by falling down the same staircase. Whatever the reason, Go Missing on Us will provide you not only with a witness proof of public abduction, but also the documents you'll need to continue living the amoral piece of shit lifestyle you've grown accustomed to, free from consequences because you deserve it for being rich. Go Missing on Us employs only the most unhinged recruits, dishonorably discharged from Russian mercenary companies, to ensure an authentically brutal experience that will leave no doubt as to the legitimacy of your disappearance. Some bruising and light skull fractures may occur. For an extra fee, we'll even send taunting letters to law enforcement and strands of your hair to loved ones for years to follow, keeping just enough hope alive to really make it sting. So say goodbye to debtors, spurned loved ones, and the relentless family members of those you've murdered, and call Go Missing on Us. Act now, and we'll throw in a choice of dead presidents or real dead pig head masks for your abductors. This is a fake ad for a fake product on a horror-themed podcast. We do not condone nor endorse faking one's death as a way of avoiding responsibility. Perhaps some therapy? Ooh, we're back.
We are. Let's go. That break was
yes.
very necessary.
Oh, and well placed. Next movie for me, another Shudder exclusive coming out on Shudder. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a release date. I don't know if they've announced it yet. Sorry.
How do you know it's coming out in April then?
It is
Shooter?
coming out in April.
Okay.
I just don't know if they've chosen the exact date. So I'm going with
I'm waiting.
825 Forest Road from director Stephen Cognetti. Now, if that name sounds familiar, it should. He has, over the last decade or so, been directing the Hell House LLC series.
On IMDb, it says April 4th.
April 4th, everybody. Like I said originally, April 4th. So Hell House LLC was a found footage about a group putting together a haunted house in a actual haunted house. And the first movie was great. Very scary. Really, really good. 2 and 3, not as good. And then, I had sort of thought, well, this is, kind of typical. It happened a lot. One good movie and then the sequels kind of ruin it. Out of the blue, he comes out. He makes a 4th one that's a prequel that is awesome. that was Carmichael Manor. Came out like a year or two ago. Anyway, this is Stephen Cognetti moving away from the Hell House property into 825 Forest Road. Now, this movie centers on Chuck Wilson, who's starting a new life after a family tragedy. He moves out of the town of Ashland Falls with his wife Maria and his little sister Elizabeth, but quickly discovers the town has a dark secret.
Uh-oh.
So this goopy ghost, the ghost of Helen Foster, has been terrorizing the residents of the town for decades since she snuffed herself back in the 40s. So basically, it's like a little bit of subversion of the haunted house in that it's not a house that's haunted, it's a neighborhood, which that kind of reminds me of the 2017 Argentinian film Aterrados, Terrified. That was Damien Rugna's film about a haunted neighborhood. But this is the goal, I think, of the movie is they've got to find where the ghost used to live or like which house this happened. So I really like the idea of an entire town being haunted, of a sort of cursed secret that they all keep, something they've been suffering through. And then, this new family coming in and possibly upsetting the balance. Stephen Cognetti is a really talented director who started up with these scrappy little Hell House movies. Seems like he's getting a little bigger budget, moving away from the found footage gimmick. I don't mean that in a negative way, but just doing something a little different. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm rooting for him. I want to see this guy do something that isn't from the Hell House property he created.
Yeah.
See, if he's got something else in the tank. 825 Forest Road, April 4th on Shudder. Why not? Check it out. Looks pretty good to me.
Excellent. I will check it out.
Yeah, you will. With me.
My next recommendation is another TV show.
Wow.
This time a season 2 that has also been 2 years since the last season, which is The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah.
Season 2 coming out April 13th on Max. So there's going to be a time jump, and there's only going to be 7 episodes. Boo. We will see the return of Pedro Pascal as Joel, Bella Ramsey as Ellie, and Gabriel Luna as Tommy. And some new folks are coming into the cast, including Jeffrey Wright, Caitlin Dever, and Catherine O'Hara, which is exciting.
Caitlin Dever playing a very big role in this
will
season.
Be playing Abby.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember when we first talked about The Last of Us when it came out, but Caitlin Dever originally was going to be considered for the role of Ellie, except she looked a little too old to play that age, I think like a 12 or 13-year-old. Anyway, she's in this playing Abby, who, according to everything I know about the video games, is a very divisive and controversial character.
Well, sure. I mean, it's a little difficult. So I've played these games a few times, and just this is just kind of a standard rule around any video game. Ignore the online discourse. It is
for everything.
It's slop. So I will say controversial in that she's a fascinating, incredible character that does a lot of things. But what I find most interesting about the casting of Caitlin Dever is in the video game, Abby is a muscle monster. Like, she is an incredibly muscular, fit, jacked woman, and they decided to kind of move away from that a little bit in the show because Caitlin Dever is not that. I would have liked to have seen Katie O'Brien in that role. I mean, she's already so big, but anyway, Abby's an amazing character, and I'm really hoping, and I have no doubt they will, but I'm really hoping that the show does not shy away from the more quote unquote controversial aspects.
What we will encounter in season 2 is that Joel and Ellie's relationship has changed, and we'll understand why. There's also going to be an escalation with the types of infected, since the season is taking place 5 years after the events of the last season.
They mutated.
Which, if you don't remember, ended with Joel and Ellie fleeing Fedra. Ellie was being experimented on because her immunity could cure the plague. And when Joel finds out that this testing essentially will kill Ellie. He lies to her that there are others with immunity, and he escapes with her and goes back to the free survivors and his brother in Wyoming.
Quick thing he also does, murders every Firefly in the building on the
Yeah.
way out. Doctors, the leader.
Yep.
He kills everyone.
Which
That's
whether
going to
or
come
not-
in. That's going to come into play.
whether
in
or
this
not
season.
they actually could cure this plague or not, we'll never know.
Well,
because Joel
you might.
eradicated
You might know.
a lot of
You might find out. I'm just saying you might find out.
One thing that the creator and showrunners have said, though, is that there's no sign of a Last of Us 3 video game coming out.
Yeah.
So this series is going to run the course of the video games. They're not going to surpass the story contained within the video game. So we may see a season 3 and that's it.
The third game may happen. It may not. It would be
It'll be
pretty
years
silly.
away.
Oh, it will absolutely be years away. Yeah. Yeah.
And,
I mean,
this-
Naughty Dog has another game coming out that looks amazing. They've only shown one trailer, and yes, like all video game things, it made a certain group of very insecure men go crazy, but they're years away from a potential third Last of Us game.
I mean, the pace that this show is going at, though, 2 years since the last season, if we have to wait 2 more years for a third season, if the video game developers started now, what would they have,
Well,
like 4, 5
Just
years?
to assuage some fears, unlike what happened in the latter seasons of Game of Thrones when they surpassed the books, they
Bad idea.
they very notably also cut George R.R. Martin out of the process at that point. Weiss and Benioff were like, yeah. And Martin, who had written multiple scripts in earlier seasons, was not a part of it. Neil Druckmann, the creator of this game, is one of the showrunners with Craig Mazin, so he's deeply involved. And he's already deviated from the games. I mean, the whole Nick Offerman storyline, that is not in the video game.
Right.
And that was the best episode of last season.
Yeah.
So I have full confidence the creator of the property is one of the showrunners and creative forces behind this. So it's not like he can necessarily be kicked off of it.
Yeah. So check that out. As I mentioned, it's going to be 7 episodes on Max.
Probably pretty sad.
Yeah.
Violent.
Yeah.
You
And
know?
it comes out April 13th.
I love, man, Pedro Pascal playing this like dirty, grimy anti-hero, and then a few months later he's going to be Mr. Fantastic. Like I don't know. I love it.
Yeah.
Can't wait. My third and final, although I might have a quick mention of another one. This is the big one, folks. I'm talking Sinners. Just getting right into it. Ryan
Yeah.
Coogler's follow-up to
Amazing.
the Creed movies and the Black Panther movies. He's going straight horror with Sinners, coming to theaters April 14th. Now, it's got the trifecta here. Great director, great cast, great setting. We've got Michael B. Jordan playing 2 identical twins, which
Yeah.
is pretty cool. It's also
Twice
got,
the B.
yeah, what's better than one Michael B. Jordan? 2 of them.
Yeah.
Haley Steinfeld, Wunmi Musaku, my absolute, I love her. She's good. She's so good in everything. She's like automatic watch if she's in it. Anyway, also Delroy Lindo. Yes. So this is,
And Ryan Coogler. I mean,
well, he's directing it.
yeah, but anything his name's
Honestly,
attached
yeah.
to.
At this point, he's an automatic watch too. So, trying to leave their troubled lives behind, twin brothers Smoke and Stack return to their hometown to start again. Basically, from the trailers, looks like they open up a sort of speakeasy. This takes place like in the Dust Bowl and the Jim Crow era. So they open up a speakeasy kind of party town, and looks like it kind of crosses over with that classic American tale of the Crossroad Demons. You know, they make some sort of deal to get incredible entertainment talent, like musical talent, like the old story of the blues guitarist selling his soul to the devil to become the world's greatest guitar player. It's basically that. And they use that to create an incredibly successful, wild party spot, kind of like the titty twister from Dusk Till Dawn, except not as like silly as that. And then, unfortunately for everyone involved, looks like the evil forces from which they have been getting this supernatural entertainment power, well, they're attracted to it too. And it looks like a Siege movie from that point on, like from Dusk Till Dawn, where the survivors are in this, barn that's like a speakeasy club being attacked by vampires. And there's definitely, a racial element to it. There are, it's a black owned and caters to largely black and like bohemian customers. So the vampires are white mostly. And my God, I just can't wait. I mean, watching Michael B. Jordan fighting vampires with a Tommy gun with like a cap on, it looks awesome. The setting, the style, the tone, it's a hard R-rated movie, so it's going to be nice and violent. I love the siege aspect.
Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, like, that's his muse.
Oh, yeah, Fruitvale Station.
Everything.
Yeah.
Wakanda.
They've done everything together.
Everything. Creed.
I am...
And a new movie coming up, too.
I'm so excited to see this because it hits all my buttons. It's got, like, the style and class of the time period, the Dust Bowl, hot, dusty, kind of, unforgiving environment. You've got the racial undertones of the Jim Crow era and the social aspect of that. And Wunmi Masako being like a sort of like priestess, like witch doctress sort of in this movie. Like, take my money.
Yeah.
Take my money. I can't wait.
So,
Sinners!
Yes. Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan have been working together since Fruitvale Station. And they also did Creed, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Sinners upcoming, and another film upcoming, which I don't think it's going to be a horror, but it does sound interesting to me. It's called Wrong Answer, and it's written by Ta-Nehisi Coates, who is like, everybody needs to, like, if you want to be informed about racial issues of the day, he's the one to read.
Or if you want to read maybe one of the best runs on Black Panther ever,
right?
He also wrote a great Superman.
Anyway, this Wrong Answer again stars Michael B. Jordan, and it's about a math teacher that's scandalized when he looks to get funding by altering his kids' test scores. Huh. So it sounds to be like an important drama that's probably going to pull at the heartstrings.
And welcome to Drama in Tandem, everyone.
I just wanted to put that out there, that I'm saying that Coogler and Jordan are the new
Scorsese
Jordan
and DiCaprio.
And who's that other guy?
What?
The basketball players, Michael Jordan and...
Yeah, it was Michael Jordan and no one. That was kind of the point.
Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, including Scottie Pippen, would say that they were, like, friendly or... Anyway, honorable mention for me, just because...
Wait, I have honorable
mentions. Oh, you do?
Yeah. So, and I went first.
Okay, fine.
So I have two brief mentions. Mine are called brief mentions. They're not honorable, because I don't know.
Okay.
They're brief. The first one is a Scandinavian crime thriller series on Netflix that comes out April 15th called The Glass Dome. And it's about a criminologist who travels back to the Swedish town where she was held captive as a child. And they discover that another child has gone missing, and it might be the same thing, the same perpetrator and everything. Interesting. And then the other one is called The Bondsman.
Oh, yeah, this looks fun.
This is a limited series on Prime coming out April 3rd.
I hope it's good.
Starring Kevin Bacon, who plays a bounty hunter who's back from the dead. And now after he went to hell, he's been brought back to life, who is a bounty hunter, but he has to now hunt demons. And if he doesn't hunt the demons as requested, he dies for good. It's dubbed as an action horror with some dark comedy, and it gives kind of supernatural
Yeah,
the TV show
or
vibes.
Man, I hope it's good. It could be great. It could really suck.
Yeah.
It's. I don't think there's going to be a much in between there.
It's a limited series, so
Yeah.
how painful could it be to get through?
Man, you've got Kevin Bacon as a back from the dead demon hunting bounty hunter. This is your game to lose, Amazon. Okay? Although I have every faith you can.
If anyone can do it.
My honorable mention is coming out April 8th. This is the new sci-fi horror novel from S.A. Barnes. Now, like a lot of S.A. Barnes' work, it's space ghosts and space horror and stuff like that. Anyway, Haley is on the run from an interplanetary political scandal that has put a huge political scandal target on her back. She heads for what seems like the perfect place to lay low, a gigantic space barge housing the cryogenically frozen bodies of Earth's most wealthy citizens.
S.A. Barnes can do anything. She can write about an isolated space station, barge, ship.
Yeah. S.A. Barnes has proven their range in writing everything from an abandoned space station to an abandoned spaceship to an abandoned space barge to an abandoned outpost on an asteroid or something. Anyway, it's not long before she realizes she may have gotten trapped in something dangerous, running from stuff, people waking up, maybe hallucinations. I like S.A. Barnes novels. They're beach reads. They're pretty quick. They are a bit alike, but they usually star female protagonists with a lot of character flaws, and I always find that very interesting. I like to read about female characters who don't exhibit quote-unquote likable traits, and to see how they navigate through interpersonal conflicts when they don't fit the mold of like warm or approachable, but they're more like competent or calculating. And S.A. Barnes does a good job with that. I'm not saying this is going to be the greatest thing ever, but it will probably be a lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to read it.
Yeah, me too.
It is called, if I didn't say it already, Cold Eternity.
I don't think you did.
No, I didn't. Cold Eternity by
Not to be confused
S.A.
with
Barnes.
what this past, couple of months have been.
Yeah, I know.
Well, we gave you a ton.
So
much. More than the month can hold.
What more do you want?
If you did one of these things every week, I don't know if you would get through it all in the month. So
pace yourselves, people. Hydrate. Drink blood.
Please don't drink blood. And that is not a recommendation from this podcast. Just drink water and take care of yourselves and watch. And most importantly, subscribe to our podcast. Tell your friends to subscribe. Download on all of the platforms, not just one, all of them.
I would say pressure your friends to subscribe. Shame them into it if necessary. And as always, support your local libraries. They're the best.
They are.
I love them so much.
All right, everybody. See you next time.
Bye. Terror in Tandem is written, produced, and recorded by Laura and Richard Mathiasen, and edited and mixed by Richard Mathiasen. Our theme was written and performed by Carrie Denver, and all other music was written and performed by David Suspanic. All opinions expressed on this podcast are our own and should be taken as such. Thanks for listening, and please remember to give us a like, a review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. We're standing right behind you.